My daddy once said, don't go to the toilet on your own doorstep. Then my mom chased him away for going in the bedroom. Them crates belong to dwarves. We leave them alone, the crates and the dwarves. They're our friends. Pom-Pom can talk to him. They're not very clever, but she says they're nice. Yeah, it's alright. That's for me to know, and you to never find out. I stole it from Lord Kem's house, didn't I? And so what? I only took one of them. The other two were too heavy. Got a map. There's a pulley thing here, and then a pool with no water and a hatch in it. Easy. Yeah. No. Okay, you can have it for this much. Haha! You're poor!
thought we'd woken here. And who'll clean up that mess in the garden? It'll be me, the new guy.
So much death on such a lovely day.
The spirit of an elven dignitary remains seated in a pew where the wedding unfolded. He stifles a disintegrate. The spirit of a dwarven attendee attempts to discreetly sip from a goblet of spectral wine he stashed beneath him. The spirit of a dwarf guard patrols the garden, oblivious to the fact that he's dead.
Come on, throw it! This bouquet is mine! Get in my way and you'll get an elbow.
The spirit of a dwarven lady stands eagerly by, as if she's waiting to catch a bouquet. The spirit shoos you away absently, her gaze fixed intently on the arc that the bouquet is taking through the air.
Spotted something.
Get in my way and you'll get an elbow and die.
Such empty volumes of dark. I believe.
The spirit of an elegantly dressed woman glances around, seemingly more interested in the other guests than in the unfolding ceremony.
Come on, throw it! This bouquet
The spirit
is
of a dwarf
mine.
watches the ceremony with a scowl. He tugs at his ornate collar in an effort to loosen it. The spirit of a dwarven lady remains rapt by the since-interrupted wedding ceremony. She dabs away some tears.
Come on, throw it!
The spirit of a guard gazes around the garden sternly. Clearly, he's unaware of his demise.
Rubbish.
Come on, throw it!
Good find.
Curled upper lip, lightly bobbing head, unwavering gaze, there's no doubting the spirit's distaste of current circumstances. The spirit's sneer intensifies.
Jump? A jump for the Queen? Now get your ugly mug away from me!
The spirit remains calm, as if he knew what was coming, and...
Get in my way and you'll get an elbow in the eye. Come on, through it.
I'm lucky.
Party's over if that ain't obvious. Best go home.
He looks you up and down.
The sooner the better.
He takes a deep breath, then lets it out again.
Out in the garden. Beautiful sight. Till the Voidwoken showed up. It was a god's damn blood.
Anymore. All safe.
My lord, I beg your pardon, but the feast has been cut short due to active gods.
The woman cries on.
That ain't a bad omen. Nothing is. Nothing's sacred anymore. All safe. Nothing's sacred anymore. All safe.
Gods, I am so sorry. How could I have known?
She looks up at you with glassy eyes, wiping her tear-streaked face on one brocade sleeve.
A girl's wedding should be the happiest day of her life.
Fighting monsters.
She looks down at her feet. Seeing her blood-spattered wedding slippers, her face crumples and tears spring from her eyes.
I should be so happy. Everybody should be so happy. But before we could even cut our wedding cake, there were Voidwoken everywhere. We barely made it indoors alive. But not everyone was so lucky. I can hardly bear to think of them. Their wives and husbands and children back in the kingdom, left to grieve alone. What are you insinuating? We're merchants, not mystics. You should have seen those void monsters. All that blood, all that death. They didn't deserve... We didn't.
She buries her head in her hands, sobbing uncontrollably.
I can't accept them. I know you mean well, but how can I celebrate now? Voidwoken on my wedding day. At least my loving husband is still with me.
She turns and waves one timid hand to her husband on the balcony. He offers an apathetic grunt in return. She blinks back tears from her pink-tinged eyes.
Please forgive him. He's broken up. It's a lot to take in. We lost so much in the blink of an eye. I have been feeling peaky lately. My darling said it was the rosy glow of a woman in love. But now, I think it was a warning. A sign of the massacre to come.
My poor love. He needs a moment to himself. And who wouldn't? Today should have been so different.
She takes a shuddering breath and idly itches her face. You'd expect her cheeks to be ruddy from tears, but they are pale instead, almost translucent, revealing the vessels snaking underneath.
Ah, you.
The noble-looking dwarf beckons you closer, then gestures toward the somber group inside.
Hard to believe you're looking at a wedding party, isn't it? My wedding party.
He looks you over, his mouth pressed into a mirthless smirk.
But I suppose you're no stranger to mournful faces. The Silver Fang, isn't that right?
Whatever. Look, I know you're him. I know you can take care of problems. I've got just the problem for you. Very lucrative one.
Not quite. You see, despite the unfortunate circumstances of the ceremony, I am a married man. I intend to be a particular kind of husband. And I could use someone with your particular talents to help me achieve this. I need you to take care of my father-in-law and bring me his will. I never thought you the scrupulous type. Trust me that I have my reasons. So, what's your price?
My Lord Father always said, the friend that carries your sword is a lifelong friend. Although that life may not be as long as you like. But I am a more trusting man than my father. Come back to me with good news, and we shall be friends indeed.
I help you to know and understand.
Bloody void woken at a wedding. If that ain't a bad omen, nothing is.
A well-dressed dwarf paces around the room, overseeing the packing of trunks. He doesn't look up as he addresses you.
Yes, thank you for coming. Indeed, it would have been a beautiful ceremony, if only...
The dwarf trails off as he takes in the sight of Beast. His face goes from soft to stern, and your dwarven companion looks to you for guidance.
Marcus Miles, you should get out of here. Go back to the high seas and sing your shanties and do whatever else your band of brigadiers does. We'll all be better off.
Come now, Ross. Is that any way to talk to a distinguished member of the royal family?
Heh, you're no royal, not anymore. A beast you were and a beast you remain. There's only one reason you'd come to Arx. You're looking for Justinia. Heed my advice and leave this place before you do something stupid.
Look, I can't change the past, and I'm sure as hell not going to apologise for it. But Justinia's in trouble. Big time. And if anyone can talk some sense into her, it's me.
He peers into Beast's eyes, looking for a sign of honest intent, and, satisfied, his face softens.
When the crackdowns and decrees came, I defended her. But when she exiled you, I joined in the applause. But this new plan of hers, I want to believe I do, but death fog? Something's not right, Marcus. She's tuned me out. Well, she's tuned everyone out. Everyone but that advisor of hers, that Isbale. Her quacking all but drowns us out. She's holding court in the sewers, if you can believe it. Go to my wine cellar. Pull out the vintage called Lula Bell. It will open the way for you. I don't know what Justinia's endgame is, Marcus, but I don't want to be anywhere near when it begins.
You've come to serve, yes? Excellent. Bring me my slippers. Chop chop. Do hurry. My hooves are shivering from the chill. Ah, yes. The
She looks right through you, face slack with...
I was hired to guard a wedding. Nobody said anything about fighting monsters.
He's just a child. Looks it, yes. But I sense something more. Something sinister.
Nailed shut. They won't budge. Nailed shut. They won't budge.
Just vanish?
"500 escapees? We would have noticed."
Don't listen to what she said.
Not according to this. Besides, they weren't sorcerers. Where are all the prisoners? Where did they go? Who are you? Did Lord Kem send you about the missing prisoners? That is the ever-elusive mystery. These weren't escape artists. They were thieves and drunkards, imbeciles and liars, heretics and fools. The crudest of the crude, turned from slugs to smoke. Poof. Ah, so the prisoners escaped. That seems unlikely, since they were well shackled. But perhaps the Magisters are not as guilty as we'd thought. Not that that lets them off the hook, of course. You may thank Lord Kem for the information. I will put it to good use. We'll get to the bottom of this, aye.
The damn cells were empty. The Magisters arrested hundreds, but they're not here. They're gone.
Tell Lord Kem that we won't let this lie. 564 prisoners. 560...
She spits at you. From the darkness of the look in her eye, there'll be no talking to her.
Piss off, paladin scum. I'm telling you nothing. My brother Delarus will hear about this, and then there'll be trouble. Delarus looks after his own. You met my brother? Really? All right, we have a deal. You first. Oh, I see. Well, that's good to hear. So, the Whites have a vault hidden below the barracks. I suspect the entrance is to be found in a storeroom in the basement. There was always a White hanging around. You'll find it easy enough, but be careful. One of them looked very much like Magister Raymond. You may have heard of him. You will not have heard good things. The Whites are in their hidden vault, and that's all I know. Now, please, leave me to hells alone.
You'd betray your rule, you traitor.
It's a waste of time. The Magisters are long gone. There's no one left.
I'm glad this one was let off the hook. I'd rather guard a body than bury a corpse any day.
It's not like Kem to change his mind mid-execution. I just hope he made the right call.
Well, hello again. Welcome to my very, very humble abode. Guess I heard it too. The man has some curious ideas about what constitutes treason. I refuse to raise a hand against fellow members of the Divine Order. Refuse to buy into Kem's lie that they're all Black Ring puppets. It's not just the city. The Divine Order is coming undone at the seams. There's never been much love lost between the Paladins and the Magisters, but this... brawling in the streets... it will be the end of us all. Too many Paladins from noble families, and too many Magisters that started as working folk. Of course, the Paladins were the first recruits of Lucian. So, many saw the Magisters rising through the ranks as a threat to their order. Pig farmers leading lords, they said. But now that some white Magisters have been found colluding with the Black Ring, now that Kem has his excuse, it's war. Kem's always been a hard man. His steel was forged in the war with the Black Ring. But recently there's something else. He's turned cold. Not cruel, exactly, just harsh. Dispassionate to a fault. They say it's the Voidwoken. That he's too worried about Rivellon to worry about people. Maybe that's it. Or maybe years of fighting finally broke him. Your guess is as good as mine. Although, I've heard whispers. There are places in Kem's mansion that nobody goes but him. One has to wonder what he gets up to. I'll see you again, I hope. The company in here lacks a certain charm. ask me, the whites fled the moment the fighting began. The cowards.
Not according to this. Besides, they weren't sorcerers.
Maybe. I guess the Lawmaster will figure it out. What do you suppose the Magisters are doing with her? Maybe. I guess the Lawmaster will figure it out. That undead witch heard her talking about this ways off limits.
Stay back. It's for your own good. Found the undead freak here already chained up by the Magisters. They say she's a witch. I say...
Her voice freezes into a harsh...
I say she's a demon. No, I can't let you in. Creatures like this Wendigo, they mask themselves as one of us. Their words and songs are mesmerizing. Give her a minute and you won't know what's real from what isn't. Well, go on then. Probably doesn't matter who breaks her, so long as she gets broken. Just keep your head on straight. She'll try to make nice. Creep into your thoughts. Keep her out of there, all right?
You really think she's all that...
How did you? Yes. I miss him. I miss us. What's this? Who are you? Give me room! I feel a breakthrough approaching.
She cradles her head in her hands, then pivots towards the prisoner. Her mouth opens, yet nothing spills forth. No sermon, no screed, no threat. She turns back to you and grimaces.
Too late! The spark's been snuffed. I trust you come bearing gold or godhood for me to have interrupted such a sensitive interrogation. What led to this freak's imprisonment is a mystery as unsolved as the void itself. We found her already caged, cursing the Magisters with hexes vulgar enough to turn even a dwarf's cheeks red. The evil is strong in her. Her words are soaked in it. They squirm into your mind, planting warm memories you've never had, mesmerizing you with candy-sweet sights and scents.
Visions of Wendigo's attack on the vessel sailing to Fort Joy fill your head. You look to the south, and your memories contort and coil. Wendigo cradles you in her arms, stroking your head as the waves crash around you. I'm sorry, Buttercup. I was bewitched by his promise. Forgive me. You shake your head and the vision is gone. Your eyes rest not on the prisoner, but on the paladin.
You underestimate her. You'd have me stand idle as she raises arcs to the ground.
In that moment, you hear music, a lullaby. You glance at the cage. Wendigo stands silent. You...
I understand. Perhaps you are as dangerous to her as she is to us. There can be no success without risk. I will give you the space you need, then. May Lucian be your guide. Things are under control. For now.
You step up to the cell to look at the skeleton you know to be Wendigo. The barrier mutes her source, but it isn't her source you fear, but something more, a shadow. She says nothing, but you still hear her words.
An unexpected pleasure for both of us, I'm sure.
She looks to the nearby device, and an urge engulfs you, an urge to power down the device to release Windigo from her cell. Her mouth remains closed, yet her voice settles in your mind like a damp fog.
There are others, his chosen, yet I am no longer among them. They seek what you seek, the hammer. I am ready to share what I know. The God King rejoices as long as I am chained. Free me, and we might hobble him.
The voice is gone. Windigo is still.
Don't listen to what she says. Her evil is...
You reach your hand towards the device, and your inner source is stifled. As if you'd never rid yourself of that after a bit of tinkering, the machine...
Come to me, sweets.
She steps forward, slowly but confidently. She holds out her hands, bony palms up. They emit no fire, no ice, no curse.
The God King no longer grants me his favour. Mask ripped from me and flesh flayed to bone, because the God-woken still walks Rivellon. Now he's chosen another. I should hate you for what you've done to me. Hate you for the hell I've lived. But I hate him so much more. He loved me when I was useful. He cast me out when you failed to die. Go to the new chosen. See that he suffers. See that the God King suffers. In your name and in mine. The Covenant, it sounded so beautiful. Eternity right there at my fingertips. Yet it's all a lie. There is no grand reward, no enduring prosperity. Just slavery within the void. The rule of a hellish hand. I was so naive. The God King told me I was special. He came close, and then closer still. Hearing him, feeling him, it was like crashing over a cliff and having him catch me over and over. I failed him. You just wouldn't die. Of all his punishments, the harshest was the emptiness, the lack of him. I thought if I could just regain his affection, I might taste it again. Linda Kem, the God King's current beloved. no more skin in his real bones than on a peeled jackfruit. And it is not only his ear the God King whispers into. The dwarf called Isbel. She bends to the king's every whim. If you want to get to the God King, you go through Lindercam. You topple his Tower of Lies. No, the God King's special boy. It wasn't difficult to figure out, I assure you. I came seeking Dallas. Kem wants her, too, as anyone could tell you. I crashed one of Lady Kem's little tea parties, did a little snooping. The void's vapour there was plain as night to me. You'd suppose we should work as one, but no. The God King loves to play his game of favourites. Kem was promised a place at the table, and he's doing what he must to secure it. Alone. Oh, honey. The God-woken rests in a bed made only of lies. Did you expect him to offer God-woken his calling card and invite them to meetings? Still, the signs are there. A once-loving husband now estranged from his confused wife. A disciple of Lucian now eagerly stoking the fires of mutiny and discord within the Order. If you want to truly see, you must look past the facade. You'll find it rather flimsy, I think. Yes, her. Goodness, how could I not? Her work on Black Peak Isle is legendary, or so she tells it at least. The king has an eye for the arrogant. They make such valuable stewards as they clamour for his favour, as I well know. I can't say for certain, but I bet you could simply sniff her out. She's got quite a nose for the fetid. Find the foulest pile of shit you can, and she'll be wallowing in the middle. The God King. He said if I could find Dallas, eliminate her, I could take my place by his side again. But Kem, he doesn't like competition. All it took was a few whispers. They spread to the Magisters quickly. The Magisters, they've got ways of silencing source. They knew exactly what to do. The Paladins, well, when they found me, they'd no idea what to make of me. I go to Kem. Or his estate, rather. He's got a Swornbreaker scythe. It'll free me from the Covenant. I'd be mortal, yes, but no longer a slave.
This creature, this monster, would have seen us drowned at sea. Kill her.
If the God King has truly abandoned her, then this is our chance to slay her. Once and for all.
Windigo has done nothing before to earn my trust. This changes nothing.
Neither of us are inclined to mercy. Let's make the most of this moment, shall we? Before you go, I have something for you. Something I learned. A touch of void, if you will.
Windigo pauses. She doesn't speak the next words, yet you hear them as clearly as a robin's song.
Goodbye, Godwoken.